Welcome to another thrilling episode of the Postmodern Polymath Podcast. I'm your host, Chris. Sitting next to me virtually is the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who can type 100 posts in one day. Lyman Smith, how you doing, Lyman?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, we had a little difficulty. My internet's out.
Did it catch the
So,
corona too?
yeah, so I had to improvise, but that'll be all right. This doesn't sound horribly bad, so we'll see.
It actually sounds clear, and the video is impressive for being on cell.
Yeah, I was on Zach's show once, a couple of times on this phone, and it seemed to turn out okay. So it'll be all right. So Lyman was not present last week. I had Zach on, of course, and we talked about his little sojourn up here. That was big fun, of course. But now we got Lyman back, and first of all, we're going to discuss everybody's favorite topic, coronavirus.
Yes.
And no, I don't mean the beer. Although apparently some people think that.
Did you happen to see the statistic where I think in Iran and a few other places they've had like an outbreak of alcohol poisoning, people drinking, thinking that it would kill the virus? This is not The Onion. Super serious. In like 2 days, Iran had like 44 people get alcohol poisoning.
Nothing surprises me anymore. I mean, people are stupid.
And I read a post, an article, I think it was CBS, that was saying, no, drinking alcohol and snorting cocaine will not cure the coronavirus.
Drinking alcohol and spilling it all over your cell phone either, like I just did.
I mean, if you had it in your beard,
it is my beer. I have to flavor it. It's a flavor saver.
So. True.
Yeah. So people are just. I don't even know why this species needs to survive. I don't know why we're bitching and moaning. I'm not sad. So the most recent, I don't know how many deaths are. They locked Italy down. Italy has been locked the fuck. They locked the whole country down.
And they shut down every building, shop, school, everything except for grocery and pharmacy, and of course hospital.
Yep. And I'm not even sure what their death rate or what their whatever rate is there. The death rate's not that much, but the thing is that they don't really know how bad it's going to get. So I think it's the unknown that's the issue. So they're locked down. Trump actually just announced not too long ago that they were issuing a 30-day ban from Europe. Travel restrictions here. So
is that what he said at his little?
Yeah. I didn't watch it. It just popped up on my notifications.
Italy also had an additional 189 or 190 deaths in the last 24 hours, and they're to the point where they're being instructed. The doctors are being instructed to stop treating the elderly and start prioritizing the people that have the longest lifespan with the greatest rate of survival.
Ooh.
That's dark.
All right, Hitler. Okay.
Right?
And yes, I said it.
Well, they're like straight up out of beds. That's how bad it is.
I know.
Right now. I mean,
that was bad. It wasn't an unfair comparison, though.
No,
because Hitler was killing off old people. Of course, he was just killing off because they're old, not because they're going to get diseases per se. But hey, Mussolini was in Italy. He was friends with Hitler, so hey, I'm not too far off, right?
No, frenzies. They're frenzies.
Fascism.
So
I probably should have said that. Anyway,
you know what? You know what? We're all going to die of the space herpes anyway, so it's fine.
It's called gallows humor.
Totally. I think if anybody watches this and they haven't figured out that that's a thing,
Yeah, fuck 'em.
questionable judgment.
Questionable indeed. I just saw Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson just got corona. Just
Seriously?
came up on my yeah. So save Tom Hanks, goddamn. First
National treasure.
RBG, and then
Wait,
Tom Hanks.
wait. RBG's got it?
No, I'm just.
Well, I wasn't sure because I saw.
meant. No, God, I'm sorry. That was horrible.
I was
Wow,
like, no.
What?
Especially after I saw a thing where some Republican senator made a joke about he was exposed to it or got it or something.
That son of a bitch. Yeah.
And he made it cracked a joke about infecting our RBG. I'm like, Let's just start licking. Let's just start mailing a lot of envelopes and licking a lot of stamps and sending it to the White House.
That one dude who made fun, what was his name, Matt Getz or something, made fun by wearing the gas mask. They had to lock him. He's on quarantine.
Do you know how he quarantined last night?
How he quarantined?
Uh-huh.
No.
He slept. He was driving back from one of the things that was happening, and then he drove back because he couldn't fly on Air Force One because he found out that he had been exposed, and so he drove back and slept in his car in a Walmart parking lot.
Good. Yeah. I wish somebody like fucking broke into his car and killed him. That's what I said. You know, and I got shit for that on one of my posts. You're a humanist. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. This guy made fun of somebody fucking thinking coronavirus is one of his constituents got infected. Apparently, that's funny. Fuck him.
And more so, it's not even the fact that he's making fun of people. These are people that are actively making bad decisions that will kill people. Because they're bungling this whole thing. They're absolutely 100% bungling it. It seems like everybody else is taking it serious in the United States except for the White House. And
the only thing, I mean, he is keeping from actual doctors from speaking out, like giving any statements and shit. He won't let them, so they basically leak it out.
Did you see the thing where he said that any of the top level coronavirus meetings are to be treated as classified top secret?
He can say that all he wants, but it's going to come out. They're not going to let that stay up. Of course, Fox News, and that's another thing. Fucking Fox News is going to fuck around and kill off their goddamn their fucking demographic because they're so far up fucking Trump's ass that they're just going to sit there and say coronavirus ain't thing. Well, guess who coronavirus kills? Fucking old people. And old people are their main demographic. So why are they sitting there saying coronavirus is a hoax or some shit and all your demographics are dying?
I mean, maybe it's Darwinism finally deciding to flush its toilet.
God, I hope so. But anyway, let's not get too far off. Here in Tennessee, I think it's 9 cases have been reported. I don't know what it's like in Maryland if y'all got any cases or anything.
I'm gonna look. Yeah, Maryland has definitely got some, and Maryland's officially been announced to be in a state of emergency. DC just announced a state of emergency. I'm gonna Google this, and then I'm going to Phoenix in a couple weeks, and they've got it too. Let's see. So Maryland has 12 so far.
Okay.
I want to say DC is looking not so great. Like I think we're going to start seeing a bunch of people pop up that are infected because there's a church there that hasn't canceled mass since like the 1800s that has canceled mass because the priest had it, and right between handing out the Eucharists and shaking hands and kissing babies, they estimate he's exposed about 500 to 600 people to the virus.
I'm not going to say anything because, we've been down this road. We know where atheists, so it's too easy. It's too easy of a target. But still,
DC's in such a state of emergency now that they, the Final Four basketball tournament and stuff.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
they're gonna play the game with no crowd, and any venue, events, anything like that that has 1,000 people or more are not allowed to happen or be open until at least April.
I don't know. I feel like the crowd is like part of the game. It's really going to alter. Not that I really give a fuck,
but I agree with you. It's like having a concert with no audience.
It's weird, but whatever. Who cares? I mean, I don't really. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate, I guess, for the players. But
it's important for this one, though. I mean, let's face it; they don't want it either.
Oh no, I know. That's part of the reason you do it, I guess, is for the accolades. Anybody else will tell you otherwise.
Maybe they should just cancel it, and the NCAA can just eat a big bag of dicks and stop making bazillions of dollars.
They need to eat a big. Yeah, that's a whole nother.
But still, I mean, think about that. Like, it's bad enough to where the people can't come watch, but you're not going to let your players chill out and hide out because you got to put on your TV show. That's not right. The DC's at a confirmed tally of 10 cases as of just before 5 o'clock this afternoon.
Okay.
It's going to happen, though.
Yeah. So I feel like the individual states are actually doing a better job.
Yeah, the federal
feds, which is unsurprising. So I don't know. I don't think yet we've declared any sort of state of emergency here. I do know. Well, Nashville just had the tornado like last week, so that's fucking shit up too.
And you know what? Like, are there a lot of like displaced people and stuff like that right now?
Not a lot, but there are some. Yeah.
It's not like thousands of people displaced or anything like that.
No, I don't think it's that.
I was going to say,
mostly just property damage.
Getting holed up in like a shelter and stuff because you have to is not a great way to prevent disease spreading.
Oh yeah, well that's true too. Yeah, that's definitely true. So Tennessee's confirmed 9. I mean, we're not that bad, but anyway, just kind of put a point on it. What we're just summarizing. Trump had just put the 30-day ban travel from Europe. Here in my state's 9. You're 12 up there. Nationwide, I don't know what the count is, but I
think Arizona's at like somewhere in between like 8 and 10 right now.
Yeah, so if you extrapolate that, it's like 500 maybe. I don't know. I'm guessing. If you're going for 50 states. I don't know exactly. I haven't heard of the exact number. But right now, as of right now, we seem to be doing okay. Just wash your fucking hands. And I don't know why people are getting toilet paper. I don't get the obsession.
You know, I figured it out. And it's not because it's going to help anything. People are like doing, like the average person who's not a hardcore prepper are being advised and getting enough supplies to last for at least 2 weeks worth of food, water, essentials, probably more for some people panicking. And that's why. I mean,
but why toilet paper specifically? I guess
I don't know, man.
I'm missing something. Oh, I just got an alert. A Utah Jazz basketball player just got diagnosed, so they're shutting down NBA games. So.
Here's the one thing I don't understand. Like, we're actively watching Italy get their ass kicked, China get their ass kicked. Why are we waiting for it to get bad before we do something?
Dude, it's America. What do you think? Come on, bro.
Oh, but yeah, but that, it's one. None of it's okay. But like, I was thinking the other day, I'm like, damn, this is gonna be really bad. It's almost like I was like longing for the day when George Bush like abandoned everyone in Katrina, because that seemed very small compared to what's fixing to pop off here. Because
we'll see. I mean, And plus, of course, the healthcare situation.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a shortage of tests. So if you are not sick if you have no symptoms, do not go get fucking tested.
Yeah, that's another. Well, you shouldn't be anyway. I heard that if you think you got symptoms, stay your ass home, unless you're like literally like like
Like
105.
if you have like a
I
crazy
mean,
high
because
fever,
yeah,
or you can't breathe because shortness of breath is like the thing in like
yeah,
real severe cases, like then go to the doctor. But just because you got the fucking sniffles is not.
yeah. It's reading the fucking symptoms. It's like a bad cold with a fever, and I've had that before, and it sucks. But I mean, just take some fucking Tylenol, some Mucinex.
Like there's nothing a doctor
And
can do for you unless it
it's
starts going
yeah,
into your lungs or you
it's
have a fever.
viral. It's a viral infection,
Oh,
and you can't do anything
did you see?
for
It's
a
in the
virus.
UK. It's in the UK or it's in New Zealand. I forget which. Or it was just the New Zealand report that I saw about the UK. They're looking for volunteers to volunteer for $7,000 basically to be infected, not with this coronavirus, but two that are similar, so they can test antiviral medications on it. But the illness that it causes is a mild respiratory illness. From what I could figure out, it was akin to like bronchitis or something like that. But they're trying to fast track some sort of something to help people because the coronaviruses are not able to effectively be replicated in the labs like the rhinovirus and other things. So unless people do volunteer, it's going to be real sketchy because it takes a lot of trial and error and time to replicate it, to be able to study it.
Yeah, so who knows? That's how things are going right now. So I guess we can just kind of leave it there. I think the main subject I wanted to get on for this particular podcast was, oh boy, the Bernie Bros. And so before anybody head explodes or anything, um, let's just clarify what we're talking about. So when we talk about Bernie Bros, and we've had this conversation. Me and you have been having conversations with people on our respective Facebook feeds or whatever.
Yep.
Um, there seems to be some kind of question among some people, and I asked this question on my page: is Bernie Bros a thing? Are Bernie Bros a thing? Well, no sooner than I asked that question than I started seeing evidence of yes, indeed, and they're not just bros either. There's also Bernie. Well, I don't want to say
Dudes and
that.
dudettes.
Yeah. So I mean, it's yeah, especially after the dismal performance of not Super Tuesday. Well, that too, but there was some primaries last night, including Michigan, which is a big state, and he lost like I think he lost the big. He lost last time I looked. It was I didn't look today, but it was Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri. He lost, and there was a couple other states that were lower delegate counts. But things are looking good for Bernie. But there seems to be a lot of Bernie people, and I'm again not all Bernie people, but because I'm a Bernie guy and you're a Bernie guy or whatever. But
Oh yeah, not according
some
to
of
some
this,
people, but
yeah, well, you're not unless you're fucking ripping out your hair and fucking yelling and fucking saying everybody's a piece of shit if they don't fucking even like Bernie or whatever, then you're garbage. So this is what we're encountering. We're encountering people who, and I think you can agree this goes with most cults of personality because, I mean, I think this qualifies as that, the cult's personality. Um, People just start going off the rails. They refuse to listen to anything that's different from their preconceived notions. Um, it can get pretty scary, and I don't blame Bernie necessarily, but I do feel like, and I've gotten an argument. Well, what's he supposed to do, man? He said he didn't like it. I don't know. I mean, I feel like you could have like a social media team that. I mean, you can't catch them all, but I think you could pick out certain really bad offenders and call them out publicly and shit as examples. Just at least make it look like you're trying to make an effort to tamp that kind of thing down. Otherwise, they make you look. I mean, they make us look bad, as just regular Bernie people or whatever.
Honestly, at this point, like I've seen quite a few people that are basically like, well, if Bernie doesn't win, fuck it, I'm not voting. And then I've seen a few people also for their respective candidates. If XYZ doesn't win and Bernie gets it, I'm not voting for Bernie. So basically, it's less of a Bernie bro thing, and it's just people that are either too stupid to understand like what their actions mean, or people that have wrapped their identity around the person as opposed to the platform and don't understand that, if you're trying to get from A to Z and you're at like F and you're trying to move forward, but you can't at the moment because something happens, that you don't want to slide back to like B and then have to fight your way back. Like you want to at least maintain the most minimal damage possible so you aren't having to fight to regain what you didn't have to lose, and you can actually maybe make some changes. But like even with that said, like we're talking about, like, forget if Bernie doesn't win. Like it doesn't. Yes, of course I want Bernie and volunteering on his campaign, all this stuff, but it's like at the end of the day, like, does anybody really need a chart and an explanation as to why Donald Trump is literally like handing the keys to the GOP right now and Trump for another 4 years? Like, you might as well just forget about the word progress, because we're going to have stacked Supreme Courts for the next like 30 to 50 years. They're going to roll back all kinds of stuff. They're going to start taking dumps all over our rights that we seem to like but not really want to preserve, unless they're guns. Then we really care. I mean, things like the Chevron deference, which as it stands right now, like 2 of the Supreme Court justices would love to repeal that. Long and the short of it is right now, like if an entity writes a piece of legislation, it goes to the Supreme Court, they look at what it does and decides if it is, like, they make whoever wrote it explain what it's supposed to do, and then they say, is this constitutional or is it not? That's what they're supposed to do, because the SCOTUS is not supposed to create legislation. If they get rid of the Chevron deference, it will allow the Supreme Court to not only rule on it, but also interpret it themselves as to what it does, as opposed to deferring the deference part back to the entity that wrote it. So basically, it'll be a roundabout way for weird people, left or right, in the SCOTUS to wield a lot more power than they should. Like, nobody should want that on either side of the aisle. And it's bad. Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, they're both have a huge hard-on for rolling that away. So, yeah, don't drop the grenade in the middle of the crowd because your feelers are hurt.
There seems to be a lot more of that than I remember there being in the last election. I mean, like, there are people actively, more than a couple actively telling people not to vote at all. Or even crazier, voting for Trump, which I don't even get the logic of. I mean, we all know everybody's favorite logarithmic. Go look it up. It's diarrhea with words, basically. And Lyman suffers a bit from it, but not that bad.
Sally, I suffer from all kinds of things.
Sally Hunt, which she blocked me. I tell you that, she blocked me. I felt so bad.
Who is that?
Sally Hunt, the one we constantly, the chick that constantly just won't shut her mouth about it. How I think you've interacted. Well, anyway, she's just won't shut up about she's going to vote for Trump because
what?
Somehow it's everybody else's. It's people who didn't vote for Bernie's fault that she's voting for Trump.
Wait a minute.
Okay, I don't understand the logic, but anyway, these people are not uncommon, and I'm getting a little bit tired of people. These Bernie bro types or whatever, acting like this isn't a thing. Like, what, well, this doesn't happen. I mean, I haven't seen it. What are you talking about? Well, I got several women here on my friends list talking about how they're harassed on a regular basis by y'all,
I was
but y'all want
informed.
to act like it's not a real thing.
I was informed that I'm a paid DNC shill.
I like that. That's funny.
I mean, that's an accomplishment. I'm still waiting for my Soros check to come in.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the opposite. It's like the other end of the spectrum. Y'all, there's crazy on both ends. All right. We got the Soros on the right, and apparently now the corporators, Dems. But let me just be honest. Let me be completely fucking straightforward and clear on this part. I hate them corporatist Dems any more than everybody else. Fucking neoliberal fucking pricks. I hate them. That's never been a question. But I mean, not everybody that you don't. It's like the whole thing with fucking, what is it? The Godwin's law. When you start fucking bringing up Nazis in the conversation, you've basically lost. It's like if you start bringing up the, DNC and you're a plant or some shit, you've lost.
And that's not me even like inferring something out, reading in between the lines, like straight up that they see me.
Well, it's Lyman's law now.
Yeah. You know what I think? I think if we change the name, if we stop calling them Bernie Bros, maybe some of them will chill.
I don't think it would matter because they're going to do what they do. I mean, it's not. I mean, we just use that as shorthand, but
sure. No, I'm speaking like in general, not just us, like as a whole, like because there are people, all kinds of people, it seems, that are all about not voting if they don't get what they want, and forget that like at the end there's two people, one of them is going to be a president, and y'all, unless your Jesus comes back, that's what you got.
But they're Bernie got people. You don't hear any Biden
They are
people.
Well, the loudest ones that I've seen and the most that I've seen are Bernie ones, no doubt. I've seen people that support. I've seen Biden ones. I've seen ones that supported. The Pete ones. That was another one. That's where the bulk of the, at least in my interactions, like that weren't Bernie people. That's the other bulk. The Pete people is like, oh well, Pete, and because that turned into kind of a cult. Yeah, Buttigieg.
Okay. What you said, P?
I'm like, no. That's your cell phone, or I'm stuttering,
okay.
Or both. No, Pete Buttigieg supporters were pretty hyped up, and I still have to say the majority of where I've seen it come from are the people that consider themselves ultra progressive. To use a few phrases that some have said Warren was the compromise candidate. Some people have said Bernie was already the compromise candidate.
Yeah, that's another thing. The whole Warren thing, it just, I mean, in the beginning, I was Warren anyway, and then I was like, I don't know. But towards the end, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And then I got mad because somehow Biden is somehow the safe pick. What are you talking about? I mean, Warren, if you want to get a middle ground, Warren was between progressive and the neoliberal establishment. To me, she was more of a. If you want to go for a compromise candidate, Biden is just fucking straight up. He's establishment. Just he's not even a compromise.
He's the old guard.
I mean, he's old guard for sure. I mean, he's like He's like the scion of that shit. You know, he's
Honestly,
like the next, and they're all old. You don't hear any youngins. I mean, shit.
no.
Except Pete, maybe.
I actually was really, really torn between Bernie and Warren because their platforms are very, very, very similar. Like you really have to fine tooth comb it to, sometimes see the differences and nuance in certain things. But I would be 100% happy with either of them.
Well, Warren got shafted. I don't care what anybody says. And I'm sorry, it's mostly because she's a woman. And again, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. And, I mean, Hillary had baggage, right? And sexism was a part of the formula, right?
Duh.
Warren doesn't even have any of that baggage. So misogyny to me is more obvious with her, right?
I
There
would agree.
wasn't a reason. I mean, she didn't even get any traction, right? I mean, it'd be one thing if she got some a decent delegate count. She didn't get any fucking anything, any traction on anything.
Well, and what's interesting, like in the very, very, very beginning, before there was ever any votes, ever anything, it seemed like online, she seemed like had the stronger support in the progressive. Like what it seemed to me, and clearly I was fucking wrong, is like Bernie had his core people that were still ride or die from 2016, and maybe some more. And it seemed like Warren, I thought, honestly, I was like, Bernie's not going to make it because Warren's going to get it. And I don't know what the fuck happened, honestly. And I agree with you. Like Hillary's got, I mean, just the name Clinton carries enough fucking baggage, like conspiratorial or not, like it just does. And you're right. Like Warren doesn't have really any baggage. She has a fantastic track record. And she's done some badass stuff. But I think the big difference is that she's kind of the fuck around and see what happens type when people try to like stomp on her. And I think that scares the shit out of people when a woman is willing to be like, all right, go fuck yourself.
Same shit. That same fucking shit.
It
She
is, but
actually
it's
had
more
plans.
obvious.
I mean, like her whole thing, the whole thing was, I have a plan for that or whatever. But I mean, it's true. She actually had, written out shit. I mean, she did her research, and you can say Bernie, but a lot of his stuff is pie in the sky shit. Let's be honest. Now, it's doable, but he doesn't really seem to have like an actual concrete plan a lot of times. That's
No,
just
sometimes
my
it's a little
take.
fuzzy. I'm with you on that. Like, it's to me, it's I think maybe that's why I was a little like I would have been happy with both because to me, obviously, if let's say even with Elizabeth Warren, her super detailed plans, which she had many of, subject to change a little bit when you try to do stuff because people, that's fucking politics, right? Like that's not a flaw of hers. That's just what happens. But I really liked what they both like the things they were both trying to do. And at one point, I wasn't sure. Well, before any voting happened, I was like, well, maybe I should just vote for Warren because. And then I kind of got lost in the idea that we had two fucking progressives on a bill. Running. I mean, we've never had progressives like that, let alone two. So
Well,
that was nice.
I was gonna vote Bernie up until like literally I was outside uh, the polling place, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, because the lady friend, she was talking to me about it, and I was like, you know what, and I posted on. I was like, you know what, men have been fucking it up for how long? Over 200 years. Let's give a woman a chance to fuck it up,
Dude, I'm honestly I'm into that at least.
So
especially a qualified, smart,
that's what
well-spoken, well thought out person. Like I don't. That's the thing is like Hillary was not impressive to me. Like for it doesn't matter.
She
Forget that
was,
she's a woman or otherwise. Like as a candidate, even if you took her, Hillary's essence and being and put it in a man, it's not that appealing to me either way. Like,
but she was qualified as fuck. You would at least,
yeah.
I mean,
100%.
you would like concede that.
Oh,
Apart from anything
absolutely.
else, I mean, this is what the problem is. I mean, like black people have to, and this is a thing they say they have to work twice as hard just to get level. And I feel like women are the same way. They have to work twice as hard just to get where white men are. It's just it's
Especially
just
when
a
power
reality.
is involved. And
Yeah. So I mean,
no, I voted for Hillary. I think she would have been light years better than what the fuck's happening right now by a long
well,
shot.
that's a low bar, but
Dude, it is. But there's a lot of people that are like, I didn't vote for Hillary. And it's like, no, you're an idiot. Like, she wasn't my first choice, but the second, like, it was between her and Trump, of course I shifted gears and all that and volunteered my time on her behalf. But Warren is like the qualified, still qualified like Hillary, but she spoke really well. She had really good fucking plans. She had no baggage. She was progressive. Like, what more do people fucking want? Just a man?
yeah, I don't know.
Like,
Old dude, two old men is what it boils down to.
dudes aren't doing so good.
Uh,
They're not.
yeah, they're fine.
Dudes are not doing so
I mean,
good. They're fucking stuff up like hard.
oh yeah, no, yeah. In
Yeah.
that context, yeah.
In that context, yeah. Otherwise, in their success rate, they fail
I
upwards.
thought you meant like, no, they're fine. They've been doing fine for how long? 1,000 years. They'll be fine, So
Yeah.
I think we need to kind of fucking drill down a little bit on this whole idea that somehow y'all gonna sit there and not vote for first. Well, it's an extension that you're not either not gonna vote at all, right? If you're if it's Biden
The most
or
popular thing I've heard is that they're not going to vote.
yeah, there are some, and this is rare, and I really don't understand that people who are said they're going to vote for Trump.
I have not seen
That
that.
shit is the most. Well, it's just specifically this one person I'm talking
If there's one, there's
Sally.
more.
Yeah. Well, she's got. She says. I mean, she's gone off the rails. She really has. But the thing with people like that, she's lost a lot of people, but she's gained people too because there are people who actually think this shit. So it's the most privileged shit ever to me. I mean, it tells me, well, we're just gonna have to write. This is what they asked for. They asked for Trump. They're gonna have to see how bad it really gets, or whatever. They deserve this. Well, who the fuck are you? You fucking and white feminists are the worst, by the way. They're bad. Just and I'm not
Who?
saying that's man. White feminists, white women voted for Trump, but like over 50%. You know that, right?
Oh, you mean
So
in 2016 that voted for him?
and they're gonna vote for him again, probably. I mean, white
Which
women are shit when it comes
which
to.
is, to me, that would be somewhere along the line of, oh god, like black people voting for like Andrew Jackson. Like he was pretty fucking gnarly about the slave stuff. He was an asshole.
Dude, I live in Tennessee, trust
Yeah,
me.
I know. So like why okay, why would
I
women
know about
vote for Trump?
I work in his building. In fact, I work in the building named after him.
Yikes.
God, that's
No, but
depressing.
like the principle is like what, okay, cool. You're conservative, you're not whatever you are, but you are a woman. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like have things gotten too good in your eyes to where you're like, you know what? Women have it a little good. We need to take us
It's
down a
privilege.
peg.
It's just a privileged position,
And it's
right?
not even that privileged because it's like you said, women have to work harder to get in places that
But
white dudes work. So why would you vote for the dude that's gonna keep doing
white
that?
women still get that residual privilege from white men. That's just a fact.
That's probably
You're never
true.
gonna hear, unless you're Silk and Diamond, Diamond and Silk, whatever those stupid bitches. And yes, bitches, you're lucky I don't call you something else. Diamond and Silk, fucking, unless you're them two fucking Uncle Tom motherfuckers or Aunt Thomasina or whatever the fuck they are. I don't know. You know.
Are those the two African American ladies that support Trump?
Yeah. Well.
Oh
Yeah.
God, I know you're talking.
Wouldn't ladies.
What?
No, that's not a word I would apply. But anyway, whatever.
All right.
Um.
Oh fuck yeah,
Yeah.
hiccups.
So yeah, no, you're never gonna hear a black person do that. So do any of y'all who are going to sit it out, and who are you going to vote for?
Nobody.
At least you're not. If you're going to sit it out, then go fuck yourself.
That's
as far as I'm concerned.
Its effect is the same as casting a vote for Trump.
Well, I don't know about all that.
Well, because it doesn't count.
There's arguments to make. There's arguments to make for and against that. It just depends. It depends. We're not in the popular vote. The popular vote is not what counts as electoral college. So,
well, no.
I would argue the deep red state, it probably doesn't matter as much as the swing state, for example.
For sure.
So,
but you don't know till it's counted. That's the point. Well, in the deep red, yes. Like
Mississippi and shit.
Sure, yeah. But like Midwest, stuff like that.
I don't get the logic. I mean, I get the logic. You think you're a big bad fucking protest. It's a protest vote. You think, you're being a badass. Whatever. Okay, Mr. Badass, since you're such a badass, why don't you get a bandana, wrap it around your head, get you an AK, and fucking fight the man with Molotov cocktails? No? Then shut the fuck up. You're not gonna, unless you're doing some kind of bloody revolution or some shit, I'm gonna need you to calm the fuck down a little bit. Your little protest vote don't mean shit. Okay? Except it's harming. And yeah, Biden, and we have to get down to this anyway, because yes, Biden is garbage. Let's just go ahead and and establish that right now. Okay? And yes, and I'm sorry to say this, the DNC did rig shit against Bernie. I mean, that's not even really. Is that even the conspiracy theory? That's just straight up fact. Because really, Bernie is not even a Democrat; he's an independent. So the DNC is actually under no obligation to, as far as I understand it, to really, pick him.
Well, yeah, I mean, the DNC is not a government organization; they're a private entity.
Yeah. So I mean, now what it would do, it would undermine their fucking, integrity, which whatever, what integrity? They don't have any, right? I mean, come on. I mean, the worst that's going to happen is if Biden, because Biden's already up by like 100 delegates, and I think he's up 600 and something to Bernie's 500. I don't remember, but it takes like 2,000 delegates to win already, and that's before the super delegates.
And there's still hope. He's not out yet. I mean, look, statistically speaking, there's still delegates there.
What I'm worried about is not so much him and the delegates, it's these fucking crazy fucking Bernie people. I don't know what they're gonna do. Because if they get to the convention and they don't get what they want, there are extremists on both. I mean, I hate to say that because people are going to take it the wrong way. Like, oh my God, there's good people on both sides. No, there's bad people on both sides, actually. And that goes for fucking white supremacist fuckers.
Stupid people are everywhere.
But there are also hardcore Bernie people who I see who they might get fucking crazy, and violent and shit. Who the fuck knows? I don't know. Did you see Chicago in the 60s when they had the national DNC then? there was some shit going down there. They had fucking fights, and the Chicago police, of course, pigs, whatever. But there was riots and shit because of it. So I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that this has happened. That there was a strong contingent of one candidate who didn't like the results.
I keep trying to wrap my head around this. Like, there's no view that I'm ever going to be shown where I'm going to be like, yeah, this is the way to do it. I'm trying to understand, like, why. Like, I've asked people straight up, okay, sell me, inspire me on the idea of not voting. Like, what do you think it does? Like, you clearly think it does something. Like, please tell me what you think you're doing. And nobody can ever give me an answer.
I don't think they think it's doing anything. I think it's a protest vote, basically.
But when you like, okay, and that, like, in and of itself, like, if you were gonna steel man that, how, okay, like, if you protest, I've heard people say that we should try to organize a mass boycott of the vote. And so I'm like, okay, well, that works on like a bus or things where people's money is impacted. But if nobody votes, like, if you'd have to have literally 100% participation in the country, which, come on. But if how what does it do? They're like, well, they have to earn my vote. They don't just get my vote. I'm like, okay, well, they don't care about your vote if you're not going to cast it. Like, what do you accomplish? Like, if I go protest outside of a place, it's because I want this, or I am trying to do this. If I go to a senator's office or write a letter and I express something, there's like something that I'm hoping to have happen. If you don't vote, what do you think is going to happen? Do they think that, like, all of a sudden they can just hold the election hostage and they'll be like, whoa, all these people aren't voting? Like, what? I genuinely wish I could have somebody explain to me what they think they're accomplishing, other than, from I'm assuming you'll agree with this, is I'm going to take my ball and go home. Or because they didn't, like, it's like not getting to see a movie that you want at the time you want, so you gouge your fucking eyes out instead of just going to see another movie. Like,
yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Because what's your point? I mean, you're not getting anything out of it, right? You're basically doing it for yourself.
Protest is for change.
You're not changing. I mean, especially if you sit there and claim to be like a fucking democratic socialist or whatever. Aren't they supposed to be worrying more about the people?
The greater good?
Yeah, and y'all are just being selfish fucks. Well, then you've basically just violated the principles that you claimed that you had when you said you were a democratic socialist. So shut the fuck up.
And
I mean,
and some people are like, well, I'm not going to vote for Biden because he would veto the Medicare for all. And I'm like, that might be, but do you understand what the alternative outcome is? Like, you think it sucks now. Just wait till, like, pre-existing conditions get allowed back in and all this other bullshit by this other administration. I was like, does that make your life worse? Or does it at least maintain some semblance of stability or lack thereof that right now? Like, which do you want to have to fight through again? And which one is, yeah, I get it. You have family that's sick. You have medical problems. Like, no joke. I get it. And it's serious. But how does walking into the room with a grenade in your hand with the pin pulled and just dropping it change anything for any good? It doesn't.
No. And I'm sick of them. Even these people who want to vote. I even have heard of people. At least most of the time, the Green Party pops its head up They don't say shit any other time, but all of a sudden, when it comes to fucking presidential elections, they want to pop their head up like all of a sudden they care. And fuck you. Who are you fucking? If you really gave a fuck, how you build grassroots shit is from the bottom up.
Yeah,
You get local and you get state. I mean, y'all don't do shit as far as I've ever heard.
dude, and
You know,
you're basically mimicking the stuff that I was saying because I've heard people say, you know what? Well, two parties, we should start our own party. I'm like, cool. I was like, so, because they were saying, well, maybe if we didn't cast our vote for, for Biden, we could cast a vote for another party. And they were under the impression that if you get 5% of the vote, you automatically just start getting federal funding, which is no, there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more to it.
Oh, I don't know enough about it.
You have to fundamentally, just from a fundraising standpoint, you have to get at least 20 different donors from 20 different states totaling $100,000 to qualify monetarily to start getting recognition and funding. And then there's some other stuff you got to do. But I was like, cool. You could start doing that, but you could in your city or town start running. You could run for office, get people to run for office, support other people that are progressive, whatever it is, get them in fucking places where they can do stuff. Meet people, network, become part of the machine, but be a progressive part of the machine. And you have to start small and not you don't just be like, oh, I'm going to start Lyman's super rad political party and just show up for the fucking presidential election. That doesn't work. Yeah. I was like,
Lyman's super rad party. Okay.
You know what?
I can get behind that. Okay.
The LSERP.
Lyman's super rad party. Okay.
The LSERP.
Yeah. Okay, you're going a little too far.
Anyway, the point, you're absolutely right. Get on the boards of in different board members in your local government. Run for fucking mine inspector, which nobody ever runs for or votes against. Just get in there and start being able to be involved in stuff. And then as you go, if you're thinking about your own party at that point, you have to build fucking support to get money, period. But the easier route would be to help either run yourself or support people that want to run that are progressive and change the party that you have. Because let's be frank, between the GOP and the Democrats, both have their own sets of problems. The GOP is not real malleable unless you're a billionaire. And I think you'd have to be willfully ignorant and blind to the fact that we have more progressive people in the Democratic Party right now as a whole than we have at any other point. We've got the AOCs, we've got this whole slew of people that were elected into legislative positions. It's slow, but and it is incremental. It takes fucking time.
It's rigged. It's rigged for a two-party system. So that's just a fact. I mean, you can sit here and bitch and moan all you want, but until you change that fact, you're just not gonna. Nothing's gonna change. So the only pragmatic way to change anything is to take control of a party. And let's be frank, the DNC has made it really hard because they fucking shut out fucking progressive candidates. They actively sabotage their campaigns in favor of established candidates. And I would argue that, I mean, I don't even think this is a conspiracy theory that they're trying to sabotage Bernie's campaign. Let's just be real about it. I don't even really think you could make a claim that, oh my God, you're a Bernie bro. No, I didn't even think that's even fucking controversial now. I mean, they're obviously trying to fucking. They don't want him. They want fucking somebody safe.
Well, and part of the reason why it's fucked up is because you still have a lot of the old guard in there. People that we're at this weird turning point where you still got a lot of the old school folks involved. And then you have the newer, our generation and younger and stuff like that. And that's part of the reason why it takes a long time to do is you literally have to wait for the dinosaurs to die out while you do your thing.
Yeah, it's a transition period. That's true.
It is.
They're not making it any easier.
No, they're not. But you know what doesn't make it any easier also? Not participating.
Well, that's what was the most I think the big takeaway from that's gone out, there's the youth vote hasn't come out. Those fucking youngins ain't voting. That's just Bernie thought he was going to get all these young voters. They haven't turned out.
No, which honestly is super frustrating because if you look at the online support and all the donors and all the rah fuss made by him or made about him, like when it's time to put the rubber to the road, they don't people don't fucking show up.
Yeah, and you could try to make the excuse of, well, it's hard to vote. In some states, that's true. Like they make it fucking purposely difficult in the South, in red states. But if Grandma Jones, who's 110 years old, who was probably beat down and shot with a hose back by Bull Connor back in the 60s, can do it, you can get your privileged white ass and go out and fucking wait half an hour in line.
Well,
go get your latte, go get your grande latte or whatever, and chill the fuck out and go fucking vote.
Well, and here's the thing, like for the 2016 primaries when I voted for Bernie, I waited. I got to the poll in Phoenix at 4:30 in the afternoon. I did not leave till 12:30 midnight because they had cut the polling places. And I mean, the bottom line is, okay, fine. It's not easy. It takes time. And for some people, that's an actual deal breaker. Like if you've got little kids and you can't have them, babysat for 24 hours to go vote, I get it. But that is a minority of people. Like at the end of the day, especially young people, like I know it's inconvenient, it's super fucking annoying and all that other stuff. But what the fuck is your alternative? Do you think that your Twitter followers or something are gonna start counting as delegates? Like what the fuck? Like you got to work. Like bottom line, if you're gonna protest and go for the progressive struggle to change shit, the word struggle doesn't mean it's fucking easy. Don't be fucking cowards and don't be lazy.
I mean, I'm pretty lazy. So.
Yo, I wonder if it's illegal to offer a congratulations you voted Starbucks card to people.
No, I don't think so. That's a good question, actually.
Like not for a specific candidate, just fucking show up and show your sticker.
Okay, that wouldn't be. But anyway, the logistics of that's your question.
Just trying to get there. Like, I'm trying to figure out what would actually get people to fucking move. Their internet getting cut out?
Like in Australia. Shit. Australia, you can find.
I'd be down for that.
But they don't want fucking turnout, especially Republicans, because they know the bigger the turnout, the more fucking Democrats get fucking elected and shit. So they would never go for that.
And they know, like, objectively, if the youth vote turned out,
they'd be fucked.
The boomers would basically not count.
No, but they know that's not going to happen.
Nah, because people are too fucking lazy.
And that's your people. That's your people, motherfucker.
Yeah, you know what? Fine, my people are fucking lazy.
Like I'm not. Still, even my lazy ass can go vote. Fuck.
But I mean,
not even need fucking Starbucks.
It's like, you know what? We pay for and make way for all kinds of convenience, drive-throughs, Keurigs instead of Mr. Coffee Pots, like all kinds of stuff. I think the one time you can pencil in once every 4 fucking years is to go stand and vote.
I don't know. I don't understand. So to wrap this part up, I want to do one other thing. If you're not voting and you're fucking able to, you're a dumbass. Especially if you're young. If you're one of these motherfuckers who aren't going to vote because protest, you're also stupid. And if you're voting for Trump in protest, you just need to go. You can just need to jump off a fucking bridge. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you. Your privilege fuck.
I hear right now is a good time to lick some handrails in public.
please, I'll do it for you. I'll lick the handrails. I'll make that sacrifice just to get you killed. I will do that because that's the kind of guy I am. That's the kind of guy I am. I'm a giver.
Comrade for the cause.
So the last thing I wanted to touch on was it looks like it's Biden. I mean, I'm not gonna be real with you. It looks like it's Biden. So
it's looking that way.
I listened to your show, The Intercept, today actually, and they were making the case against Biden like I need help with that. But of course, they brought up a couple different things where he voted. He was good friends with Strom Thurmond, like the biggest fucking segregationist ever.
Yeah, who also served in the Senate for what, like 85 years or some shit?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he had a kid with a black woman. Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Figure. For against busing, so that's fun. He basically he made declaring bankruptcy harder, right? He was a booster for the Iraq War, even though he fucking lies about that on a regular basis. He's creepy as fuck, dude. He's just creepy as fuck. What's her name? The hearings, the Clarence Thomas hearings.
Anita Hill.
Yeah, Anita Hill.
Oh, on that topic, really super fast. They asked her. There was an article, and they asked that if he was nominated, if she would vote for him. If
she
Sanders,
said yeah.
She fucking said yes. Like, if she isn't pissed off about that and she's willing to set shit aside, like, y'all don't get to drag her name into this when you're like, well, he fucked over Anita Hill. Yeah, he did. But if Anita Hill, if the actual victim.
Well, I mean, they don't give a fuck. They will make. I'm telling you, man. They're the crazy folk. There are crazy folk on the left. These Bernie bro, I don't know whatever the fuck you want to call them. You know what I'm saying? These crazy fuckers are gonna say. They will say literally. They don't give a fuck.
Do you think that we should
say, "All right, fuck her"?
Neo progressives.
I don't know. Call them dumbasses. But anyway,
that is
so. Yeah.
Back to your point.
Biden is definitely not. I mean, and I made this clear today. Don't be coming here talking about mental decline because that bothers me. I was talking to the lady friend about this actually, and I asked, I'm like, point blank, is it fair to say he's mental decline? Is he really? And he just said no. He's just really gaffy, or I call him gaffy, and daffy too. And he's just prone to say stupid shit. Go listen to him at any time. Listen during the Obama presidency or whatever. He just says stupid shit, right? I don't know that
he's not a very cunning linguist at all.
No, he never has been, right? And I don't know that you can. For one thing, who the fuck are you? Are you a fucking licensed psychologist? Who the fuck are you? How the fuck do you know? I mean, I don't like. I mean, there's plenty of things to get him on. Trust me, I know because I keep track of this shit. All the things I just mentioned, right? But to try to get him on that, to me, is just shitty, right? I mean, they say, well, Trump's going to have him for lunch. Trump is a fucking jack. I mean, he doesn't talk. He doesn't fucking say coherent things. You're telling me that it's going to be any fucking worse? I mean, are you kidding? The battle of two old white incoherent people. I'm not seeing. I don't understand what the big deal about that is, right?
I don't either.
And I mean,
he's more coherent than fucking Trump. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, literally anybody is more coherent than him, right?
I mean,
and then there's also the point of his vice presidential pick, which would probably at least a woman, if not. I'm thinking Kamala Harris would be good. But anyway, whatever. I'm not going to get.
In my personal preference, I think it would be rad if he picked Elizabeth Warren. He'd pull a lot of progressives. He would.
Well, maybe.
Strategically, I think he would pull a lot of progressives. Possibly some of the ones that were like, "I'll never vote for Biden." They'd be like, "Oh, wait a minute." Like,
yeah, but it depends how much royalty you have. Which Biden didn't have much role in the Obama administration, and that's another thing. A lot of people are voting for him because of Obama Redux, right? And I have a feeling that he's more going to be more of a figurehead because he's just basically going to have. It's like when W got elected, right? All his dad's fucking old army came in there, or his old
Well, Cheney ran the
cotton, right?
show.
What?
Dick Cheney.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
He was
Joe
just a
Biden's good.
figurehead. Bush
Yeah,
was just a figurehead, and his VP and
yeah,
his
yeah,
cabinet did the shit.
yeah. Right. That's what I'm saying. I feel
Yeah,
like they're basically going to bring on old Obama fucking people and maybe some Hillary. I mean, it's going to be a machine. It's going to be Democratic machine shit. I don't
yeah.
think that's what pisses me off the most. It's going to be the same shit, right? I mean, they're talking about fucking. I heard about they're going to try to get Jamie Dimon in there. Are you what?
Why do I know that name?
Because he's a fucking asshole from CEO of fucking I don't know one of the huge stock houses or whatever. Like, is it?
Ooh.
I don't. Basically, he is the very epitome of fucking out of touch stock people that got bailed out
So
during the
like
1990s
the entire
crisis.
Trump administration.
No, actually, the Trump administration, even when they hired them, they're incompetent. At least Jamie Dimon knows what he's doing. He's
No,
neoliberal
but
as shit.
I mean the wealth side of things.
Oh no! And see, that's what kills me about people. And people are right on that point that they're not. When it comes to the economic policies, there's not. I'm sorry. There's no difference really. I mean, there's no measurable difference between Republicans and Democrats. Democrats just dress it up nicer, right? They
Give or
just.
take.
I mean,
Yeah. As a
they
whole, yeah,
still.
I think compared to the Trump administration itself, I think it would be better because I don't think any of
It
them know
might
what the
be.
fuck they're doing. But again, that's like the lowest bar. That's like saying I only had to eat out of the dumpster that's 4 days old instead of the landfill itself.
Well, Democrats don't cup the nuts when they're sucking Wall Street's dick. I guess. At least they're mean to them when I don't like sucking your dick, but I'm gonna suck your dick. Okay, I'm gonna complain about it. Republicans are just like, oh yeah, you like that, Daddy? You know, I think that's the difference. you know. So yeah, when it comes to fiscal policy, I don't feel like there's a whole lot of difference.
But their
The
social
thing that
the
the social
very
policies are the
different.
thing. But even then, I don't know that they do as much as they could do. I mean, they love cops. They both love cops. Let's just face it. I
There's a
mean,
couple, yeah. America, people in power, America love cops.
Biden was all about some cops. He voted for. He's been proving himself. You know, he was all in favor of that bill.
Crime bill.
Yeah, the crime bill. He's all about that law and order shit. So he's not any better on that either.
Well,
You know,
I mean,
yeah, LGBT rights, right? Okay, it's
yeah, and
it's just.
I think he would be better with the military too. Like not necessarily war stuff because America just does war, but like a lot of the stuff about like the benefits and how they're treated and shit like that. Mostly because his son was a veteran or is a veteran or
Oh
both of
god,
them. You know what? And here's the thing:
they're
if
gonna get
you
him so bad on that.
right, if like yes, the Obama years at the time and still were not great. Like there were some good things that came of it, but like it's not where we want to be overall. General statement. But considering where we are and the alternative of where we will go, I'd say another fucking even anything remotely resembling the Obama years would be pretty fucking nice right about now.
Yeah, I know.
Comparatively, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, that's what I mean. I believe that. I'm not going to be thrilled. I will hold my nose and do what I got to do if I have to vote for him. But like what I know I don't want is the foreseeable future and the rest of our lifespan to be fucked.
Well, okay, so here's a couple of things I'll say. So Trump is so fucking laughably incompetent that he will not get he just can't get shit done because people ignore his ass. He goes tells people to do shit and they just like ignore him shit, hoping he'll forget, right? So that's why Bloomberg scared me because he was like Trump except he was actually competent
Yeah.
and he would do all this crazy shit, right? So that's the only that's the only silver lining in that cloud. I mean, and I understand the frustration. I'm sure you do too. People like, well, when the fuck is it ever going to be? Right? When is it? When do we ever? How do we stop the machine? If people keep voting for the same fucking milk toast centrist fucks, how do we ever change anything? Right? And to me, the answer to that question is local organizing this shit, the grassroots campaigns. And I think demographics are on our side. Time is on our side if they get out and vote. That is the issue that I think needs to be addressed more than anything is getting these fuckers out to vote, right?
Agreed.
So I mean, if you want to look at concrete things you can do, you need to convince your boys or your girls or non-binary, whatever. The fucking I don't know how you gonna just get them to vote. I don't know. Offer free weed. I don't fucking know. Do something. Put it on the ballot with free blowjobs.
I mean,
oral sex. Let me just so we don't make it specific. Put it on the ballot with free oral sex, and maybe that'll help. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, it definitely starts local, and it's definitely local organizing. And there are some really good groups, like MoveOn.org is pretty good. There's Act Blue that's good. There's a bunch of different ones. Like if you yourself don't want to run, well, first of all, if you want to run for an office, run for something local. Get the fuck in there. You have to change the political landscape in your hometown, in the places you're in, so you can change and organize and change the way people view society and make a social change if you want them to cast their ballot differently. You can't just we could put the most perfect candidate up there ever with a plan of a plan of a plan of a plan, like the best speaker, the most beautiful person ever. Everybody gets everything they want. And the second it's something that they're not comfortable with because it feels maybe a little icky compared to what they're conditioned, whether it is intentionally or not, or they're used to from where they live and their life experiences and everything, they're going to reject it. I mean, on its surface, forget it's Bernie or Elizabeth Warren. Like, why we are having a conversation where we have to convince people that they need fucking healthcare is beyond any conversation or any rational explanation I can give. But the point is that you have to change things in the area, in small controlled areas, and let it grow like you're talking about. Because if you just show up for a presidential election, people are like, what the fuck is this? This is just crazy shit. And it's easy to discredit then. Like you can sit there and be like, oh, that's just the extremist this or the radical that. Well, it's not extreme or radical if you have all these people built up for support over years and years and years. I mean, we have at least 4 years for the next big one. And then we have stuff in between for your local stuff. Yeah. If people want concrete things to do, get people to vote and help people who want to run for office that are progressive, support them locally. And if not, run yourself and volunteer for campaigns. And you got to do something. You got to do actual work. You can't just be like, well, you can't do, don't model yourself after my social media life. 100 posts in the last 12 hours. It's that's not how you get shit done. That's how you have that's how you yell at Bernie bros.
Yeah. Well, you're actually a little better about actually trying to commit. I don't have that kind of patience, but somebody's got to do it. I guess there's different kinds of people.
Play to your strengths, man.
Yeah. So I just wanted, as a last kind of point, I wanted to make. People are concentrating so much on who the president's going to be. I wanted people to keep in mind that, at least in theory, there's three co-equal branches of the federal government, and president is part of it. The executive branch is only one of the branches. Yes, Trump. Well, it's actually following a trend where the executive is becoming more autocratic, more of a unitary, and they think they can get away with more shit than they really should be getting away with. But the president can only do so much without Congress. And so if you thought Bernie was going to just get in there and be like, "What Medicare fall?" Just bam. No. Did you see how hard of a time Obama had trying to get up that fucking like mediocre shit he got through? Do you remember that shit?
I do. It was a
Okay,
big fucking deal.
and to be fair, he tried to compromise from the beginning, and that was, to me, that was the problem, right? He tried to go in there and compromise too much. He thought he could get with the Republicans and try to, when they sat there and said it from the very beginning, their whole goal was to make him a one-term president. You can't fucking negotiate with people like that.
No.
So what you do is you force it down their fucking throats. And he started from a bad position. At least Bernie would start further left, right? He'd start from a further left position. But you're still not going to get Medicare for all in the first. You're just not. Even if you have both houses, there is still a lot of conservative Democrats who are not going to go for that unless it's just super watered down. And the marijuana stuff, yeah, probably he could do that. Maybe he said executive order.
I
He can
think
do
that
shit.
I think that would actually make it through, because while a lot of them won't publicly be like, "Yay, let's legalize it,"
It wouldn't. But the thing is, you don't have. The only thing you would have to do is you would have to change the schedule. That's the only thing that keeps it from being legal, I guess, is
Mhm.
that it's Schedule 1, which is the most ridiculous shit in the universe. You're putting weed up there with fucking cocaine and heroin? What? Are you higher? You're not high enough, maybe. You're putting weed up there with that? No, you deschedule it. You bring it down to, I don't know, down there with alcohol, and you regulate it.
I think Schedule 3, if I remember,
It's something.
is like alcohol and like over the counter shit.
Yeah. So you bring it down, maybe not 3, because
You can
there's
treat
still
it like alcohol. I mean,
the thing. I mean, but there is an argument to be made, and it's not the doctor's fault because they won't give them any fucking weed to fucking experiment with. We don't know more. We don't know enough about marijuana because they won't give us any to it. They won't. The feds won't give them anything.
oh
The
yeah,
fucking legitimate.
they're legislatively forbidden, the CDC and the FDA from
So
studying pot.
universities and whatever can't get. So that's not their fault. It's just there's a lack of really a whole lot of information. And so that's not, their fault. I mean, I feel like Colorado and states have it legal now. Maybe they could make more of an effort to make it, study it a little more.
I think we know enough about it to say it's at least as
But I mean, there's no
safe or
argument.
not. Yeah,
Yeah.
as you know, if a bottle of vodka is gonna fuck me up way before.
Yeah. So I mean, the point is, shouldn't be Schedule 1.
It's stupid the way it is.
Yeah. So he could do that. He can knock it down with an executive order, probably. Fine, right? But the other stuff, I just don't see. And even if he has the majority, I mean, that's what I was saying. So even if you get him as a president, you need to worry more about Congress. You need to worry about getting progressives in Congress. To me, and then you
Obviously,
can.
try for all of it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you
You
need
say
them
that,
to
but that's
push.
another argument.
if you had enough people in Congress that were progressive, you could push a centrist Democrat left because they wouldn't have a fucking choice.
The key word is in that is Democrat, because if you get a fucking Republican in there,
They're
you are not
gonna-
going to push anything. You're going to get another 4 years of Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump and all these other fuckers.
If there's
Like,
one guy I wish who'd get corona,
you know what's fucking awesome? And I mean this, I could not mean it more. The good thing is that all these evil bastards are fucking old. And if they get it, they're not going to survive it. Not likely.
Yeah. So they'll be dead soon. Hopefully. So anyway, my point is, even if it's Biden, not Bernie, that gets in, he can only do so much on his own anyway. And again, that doesn't say that I'm not angry about Bernie not getting it, because I'm just going to make that assumption already. But now, I'm sorry.
You're measured in your plan B.
But I mean, unless the other alternative is you're going to do a bloody revolution. Karen, Chad, Braxton, and whatever the fuck, I don't know, Alyssa, y'all ain't going out in the streets and fucking starting no goddamn revolution. Okay, calm down. All right.
If your focus is recycling and making sure that your trash is sorted super nice and neat, I don't think you're going to go start a bloody revolution.
Let's just go ahead and just knock that out of the water. If you're not going to do that, at least just go at least vote if you're not going to do shit else. I mean, goddamn, what else you got to do? Fucking.
It takes,
what do kids even do now? I don't even know.
It takes less effort to go vote than it does to spout all the self-destructive, self-sabotaging nonsense about how, well, it's your fault. You know what, Chris? It's your fault. I'm voting for Trump.
Okay, that's just so
What does that even mean?
So,
like, get some fuck at that point. Like, please go seek some like counseling or something, because you are clearly not thinking clearly. Mm-hmm.
So, we've hit some main points. We'll summarize. Coronavirus, wash your goddamn hands. Get some sanitizer.
Don't go places when you're sick.
Unless it's a Trump rally.
Then put on your MAGA hat and shake some hands.
Just shake some hands and cough on everybody. All right. Bernie bros are a thing. If you see them, call them out. And don't discount people's what you might think is anecdotal, because dude bros love to say that. Well, that's anecdotal evidence. Motherfucker, when I gotta see 20 women sitting over here telling me shit, that's how many anecdotes do you need?
That's a fallacy. That's a fallacy.
Yeah, they love that fucking shit. So they're a thing, but just I'm saying, if you're a Bernie supporter, then confront them, talk about it. If you can't do that, then tell them to shut the fuck up and protect people from them or something. Finally, Biden is shit, but you're gonna go vote for him. Shut the fuck up, and you're not voting for Trump. I will punch you. I'll punch you in the nuts, and I will gladly go to jail for that if you do that.
And there you will definitely get the coronavirus.
The corona, please.
Oh, I know I'm going to get it, and I can tell tales of surviving.
All right, so we'll wrap it up with that. But Lyman, thanks for coming on once again.
Thank you for having me.
I know you got shit going on, so
yeah, it'll calm down soon.
So we'll try to have a guest. I gotta get the one guest I had was supposed to have on when I was in my shoulder hell. I need to reschedule, so we'll have a couple. I need to get a couple of guests. I still need to get Andrew Saito on. Actually, I need to ask him again.
Yeah, and we still need to get brain. No, well, them too. I'm trying. Oh my god, I can't think of his name. So he sent me his book. He sent me his book.
Did you?
Dan
Arrow. You finally get the book?
I did. I finally
got
the
you
book.
got no excuse. Here,
no,
okay, you don't have to read it. maybe read the first. At least read this chapter of contents.
I'm gonna read it. It's not a very big book.
Okay, I need you. If you're gonna read it, don't lie to me about it.
I won't.
Read it within. I'm gonna give you how long you think it'll take you. Because I
I
know
don't
you're.
know. Let me see how much I can get through between now and the weekend, and then
I'm
I
going
can
to
try
give
to
you
pace
on the
it out.
weekend. We'll see. Because I've already told him we're going to get with him. I'm going to get with him. So,
I bet you I could do it in like, I don't know, at the worst, like in the next week and a half, 2 weeks tops. But I can push through if I know it's coming.
I'm scheduling him a month out. So
Oh,
that
then yeah.
you will have to do it by then. I'm
You want me to
giving
make a
it.
diorama and give you a book report?
No, bitch. I didn't say that.
I'm gonna do a diorama just for him.
I'm going to get with him within the next couple days and schedule something. Probably within the next month. A month at the short later. It won't be less than a month. So I'll give you that much. And I'm going to
Okay.
tell you when. And
Off
then,
off the air, I'm gonna tell you a week that I cannot do it.
okay, well,
It's in
that's
it's
the
it's in
week.
it's in June.
He can't do. That's the week, and he doesn't want to tell you this. That's the heroin week he does. Every week, every year, he does the heroin thing.
The
He like
heroin
goes
week.
heroin crazy, and like he's the dude on Train Spotting. Go watch Train Spotting.
That's a great
And then
movie.
he has to do. Have you seen Train Spotting?
Yeah.
He's going to have to do the detox where he sees the baby on the ceiling. That's what's going to end up happening. I'm
Oh.
just telling y'all right now. So anyway, all right. Well, you gotta do the end off. So I'm gonna tell y'all what I usually tell you. Uh, until next time, y'all take it easy now, okay?
Go vote. Wash your hands.
Did you hit it?